Beyond the Red Mirror. Sort of a sequel, sort of kinda, to Imaginations from the Other Side. Talking about Blind Guardian. Talking about their new album. 5 years in the making. 5 years. And I gotta say, the whole idea of Beyond the Red Mirror is that the Red Mirror is the only portal that's left. And I'm assuming, or at least how I think of it, is that it's a portal to the realm of imagination. A portal to another world, to a place where a lot of the different stories that we hear, a lot of the tales that we've read, the books, the myths, the legends, that land. That's where they all exist. And now only one of them is left. And you know what it makes me think about? It makes me think about how here in 2015, just 20 years after Imaginations from the Other Side, how it really seems like there truthfully is only one portal that remains. Almost as though this album has a certain clairvoyance to it. That only one single portal remains. We don't read books as much as we used to. Everything has to be a high drama, television show or film. Do we tell legends anymore? No, we tell about drunken escapades and drunken adventures. Misadventures that we have with friends. Nothing that really has any sort of characterization to it. No real theme outside from, I shouldn't have fucking drunk that much. And we don't really do anything outside of the realm of going on adventures ourselves. This one portal, this red mirror, is our portal to adventure, is our portal to another world. Our portal to the imaginations that really kind of just linger over there on the other side, just beyond our reach. That's at least how I look at it. It's kind of at least the way that I see it. Whenever I examine everything, it's just what makes sense. Whether or not that's what Blind Guardian was going for, well, that remains to be seen. But let's talk about this musically before I decide to wax philosophical about anything else. Before I decide to murder the English language even further. This is an album that's going to exist in 3 different forms. There's 3 different versions, a standard, a deluxe, and what's called an earbook. Not quite sure what that is, but that's the one that has everything on it. I looked and reviewed and examined the deluxe, which actually comes with a bonus track. And this is an album that is split up into multiple parts. See, the sequel of the reason why this is a sequel to Imaginations from the Other Side is based around the fact of the very thing that I mentioned, that there is only just one portal left, and they must make it to the portal, they must protect the portal, and go through the portal at all costs, things such as that variety. But we're here to talk about the musical element of it, and Blind Guardian, I understand I don't talk about a lot of power metal, but Blind Guardian is a band that I will always talk about. Mainly because not only are they one of the forefathers, one of the granddaddies, one of the purveyors of this genre, one of the groups that really have been able to really showcase the diversity of this genre, really the best, along with bands such as, Halloween. This is also a group that is very, very willing to open up and showcase their diversity. This is a group that started off principally as a speed metal group, with a little bit of power metal mixed in, influenced by bands such as Iron Maiden, and then gradually embraced more of the power metal side and gave more of a progressive edge to it. Now you're thinking, you said the word progressive, coverkillernation, no wonder you like them. But I can remember the first impression that I had of this band, I was kind of disappointed. It was Nightfall and Middle Earth. And I think it was just, the flow felt very disruptive from that album, from the telling of the tale being intermixed and interwoven in with music. Just something that gave it a very off-kilter approach. But then I remember listening to A Night at the Opera and being completely floored. This is something that happens almost instantaneously whenever you start off this album, whenever you start off the Ninth Wave. And the reason is not because their last album from 2010 was not up to par, was not up to snuff. It's just the fact that it's been 5 years. It's been a long time since we've had a new Blind Guardian album to really examine and to really talk about. So it's almost as though you don't know what to expect all over again, because 5 years is a fucking long time to wait. Some of you guys, the last time there was a Blind Guardian album, were probably still in grade school. Others may have graduated from college. I myself, I haven't done much. Mainly just talking with you guys. But musically speaking, this band has found a way to once again push itself even higher, to push itself even further, to really deliver on an epic tone that is just beyond compare. They really continuously find a way to take what they've done on previous affairs, including the Night in the Opera, and just go further. And I think the fact that there is certainly a bit of a tie-in here with a previous album certainly helped them raise their game a little bit, because not only did it have to be fitting to be a Blind Guardian album, but it had to be a worthy successor to the album that serves as its base material, that serves as its basis. And they definitely have done that. These are songs that range anywhere between 4 and 9 minutes, with the bookends, the very first and very last tracks, both being over 9 minutes in length, and really just dispelling with the epic. The one thing that Blind Guardian does perhaps better than most bands is the fact that they're able to really, they're able to transform emotion in a listener very, very quickly. And they're able to do so without really slapping you in the face with the idea that your emotion is supposed to be fucking changed. Instead, this is a band that's able to do so very subtly. They're able to do it with just minute changes in the music or in the vocals that surround, whether it's supposed to be a feeling of joy, of thrill, you know, of happiness for victory, one that is quickly deteriorated or destroyed, or whether you're supposed to feel a bit of wonderment, hearing the prophecies of a forlorn world, or perhaps it's where you are sitting down and going on a quest for the Holy Grail. I guess you're not sitting if you're going on the quest, but maybe you're hearing of the quest. They're able to really take the emotion of storytelling, place it into music, and just as quick as you were to read a storyline plot twist or a storyline mindfuck moment, the music and the voice is able to turn and change in such a way that it is indicative and indicated to you. Do it better than most bands out there. A lot of bands that attempt this structure, that attempt this idea, could really take a couple of lessons from what Blind Guardian is able to do. We just talked about the Periphery double album. I think that Periphery could have used a little bit of Beyond the Red Mirror as a bit of a signpost, a bit of a way in which to really give more back to the story, which in turn gives more back to the listener. The incorporations of instrumentalization on this album definitely give it a bulk of its glory, a bulk of its wonderment, a bulk of its excellence. Voice is certainly nothing that's surprising. It's something that blends in beautifully, and considering they enlisted the help of 3 separate choirs in order to really get that magnificent tone, one of which numbered more than 90 people. Wow, just crazy. The tone is set beautifully. Are there any flaws on this album? That's the real question. Are there any real flaws? Not really. There's not very many. Some may argue that it's a little bit too long, but this is an album that's easy to listen to. It's an album that's easy to kind of go through very, very quickly for 71 minutes. It's definitely one that doesn't feel its runtime, and it's easy to get hooked on songs and go back and listen again and again. Blind Guardian has always kind of had that ability. I can't remember the last time that I wanted to listen to a 14-minute long track over and over and over again, but Blind Guardian was able to deliver that for me. Then I found Opeth, but that's a different story altogether. 93 out of 100. Very little I can find wrong. The only complaint that I actually would have is the fact that I listened to the deluxe edition and the bonus song was the worst song that I heard. And that's a minor complaint. That's a minor gripe. What did you guys think about this album? What do you guys think about Blind Guardian in general? And as a fun little exercise in torment to myself, why do you think I don't cover that much in the way of power metal? Because I'm not going to tell you, because I just don't. Why do you think I don't do it? Do you think I have a bias? Do you think I'm being paid off by the Illuminati? Do you think I'm being paid off by the satanic Illuminati of the people of northern Russia? You didn't know they existed, did you?